Okay, so I just wanted to talk to you about just general information about any exam overall, whether it's online, a lecture, a quiz, that kind of thing. Um, Questions could be either multiple choice, true and false, matching, fill in the blank, short answer. When I say short answer, you could answer, you might be able to answer in, let's say, 2 to 4 words, but never more than, let's say, a sentence or two. That's it. Yeah, there's no essays on here. Okay. This is not an English course. I just need to, go straight to the point and just answer the question kind of thing. There may be labeling or any combination of that. The final exam, however, will be 100 multiple choice questions. I want to have it so I can grade it very fast. Okay. So that's what that is. Yes, spelling. It has to count. Okay. Um, Even a 1 letter difference. Look, we've just gone through a pandemic, right? All of us have gone through it. Don't say you did it, right? A 1 letter difference, asymptomatic versus symptomatic. I mean, a 1 letter difference just changes the meaning of the word completely. Okay. Even a decimal point in the wrong place is going to kill a diabetic. All right. Um, and I know students will say, well, everything's digitized now. We just have to type these things in the computer, and it'll automatically correct. Well, yes, but let's say a doctor calls you up on the phone and you're a nurse, and he or she says, I need 20 milligrams of Aricept to be given to the patient. Okay, and you write it down. Well, you heard Oracet, but he said Aricept. You see how there could be it sounds alike, but it could be different. Aricept is used for Alzheimer's disease, whereas Oracet, it changes the pH in the person's blood. Two totally different things. Or you write down certain things, and like you're as a nurse, and you have other things to do, so you ask your nurse's aide, can you just put this into the computer for me? And you see something that was illegible or something. um, you got to be able to. I mean, really, the number one cause of people dying in the hospital is because of lab errors. You don't want to be a part of that, please. Okay, so spelling has to count on this. I'm not going to knock off the whole point unless it's a different word, right? Asymptomatic, and you made this symptomatic by 1 letter difference. Sure, that's 100. You're going to get that all wrong. But let's say you left the P off. Well, I'll make it half off of that question. Okay. Um, if I don't take points off, how would people learn, right? So we got to get that ready. When I was in college, they took the whole thing off. When you get these long names of muscles, and I used a lot of lead, and I have 1 letter wrong. It's like, you took the whole thing off. I just wasted my time on it. Anyway, so it has to be legible. When you use abbreviations, make sure they are proper abbreviations, not your created ones. For instance, oxygen, you want to call it oxy. Well, oxy, when you learn in A&P2, is an abbreviation for oxytocin, one of the hormones. So that's not the proper abbreviation for oxygen. The proper abbreviation is O2. So you do need to make sure that you're going to use a proper abbreviation. If you don't know if it's proper or not, then just write out this. Because if you put this is all wrong. If you do this and you spell it wrong, at least you're getting half right. Okay. So anyway, that's what I want to say about spelling. The allowed time that you have for all these exams or assessments, the lecture exams, if they're in person, you'll get 75 minutes for the exam. It's anywhere from 60 to 70 questions because, as I mentioned before, there is bonus questions on here, and there's a little bit more questions on there. Whereas a virtual one, there's only 50 questions worth more, but you only get 60 minutes for that. Okay. The quest, as I told you, is easier and quick to answer. Like, what color is an apple? Red. Sure, there's yellow ones and there's green ones, but if you had to pick an answer very fast, you're going to say red, right? So the question, you only get 35 minutes for. Most people are done in 20, 25 minutes. The final exam, you're getting 110 minutes, almost 2 hours. For practical exams and lab quizzes, we're looking at 30 seconds per question. I know it sounds short, but believe me, it's one of those quick things. You either know it or you don't. Okay. If you're not attending any exam or quiz, contact me as soon as possible. Okay. If you know in advance that you have to miss it, you're on a vacation or, there's a holiday or something. I may make a rare occasion where I'll do something, but it's solely based case by case. Okay. The missed lecture exam or lab quiz will count as a 0. If you don't attend here, use this as your drop quiz or dropped exam if that's one of them. But all the missed quizzes and exams after the first one will count as a 0, okay? If you're late to a practical exam, as I mentioned before, online, the same thing if it's in person. If you're late to a practical exam, I lock the door. Once the test is going, I don't want, and the students, your classmates, don't want any distractions, people coming in, dropping their coats on the floor, no, making a commotion. No, you need to be there at a certain time. That's it. If you expect traffic or whatever, get here earlier, go to the cafeteria if you need to, get a cup of coffee. At least you're on campus, okay? And you'll just forfeit that exam. Now, I do have a makeup policy on certain things, okay? Not on the things you can drop. But here's a time frame to notify me. You must contact me before the exam date arrives, okay? I need documentation. You must provide some kind of valid documentation within 2 days of the exam date, all right? It needs to be scanned and sent to me via Canvas, or if you see me in person, you could give it to me, okay? You could also give it to if they're open, you could give it to the main office, they'll get it to me too. I may or may not still approve the makeup depending on what is presented to me, okay? If it is approved, then the makeup protocol is this. It'll be given during the last week of the semester, not anytime during when everybody else took it, because I don't want to have you studying for this for, let's say, 3 days or whatever. Meanwhile, the other new material is you're missing up on studying that. So it'll be during the last week of the semester, finals week, okay? A different exam will be given to you than other students. This may be an essay thing, okay, since I only have to grade 1. No more than 1 makeup exam per semester, regardless of any kind of documentation. Okay, and if you miss an exam and do not qualify for a makeup, then a 0 will be used. So that's my makeup policy. It's written in the syllabus. It's really for the quest and practical exams, or if I come up with anything else, because the lecture exam you could drop 1 and the lab quiz you could drop 1. Those wouldn't qualify for a makeup. Okay. Now, returning the box of bones, okay? Remember, they're on loan from Massasoit, so they're not there to keep. Again, it must be returned to the Brockton campus, okay, by the day of the final exam, all right? We're going to be done with the bone lab unit much, much earlier than that. So I recommend bringing it in much sooner than that, okay? Much sooner than final exam. It must be complete. There must be nothing dirty with it and nothing marked, okay? 5 points will be added into the final course grade. That's part of your course grade. That isn't bonus. However, if you do return them on the day of your practical exam of the bones, then you'll get an additional 5 bonus points. That's like adding 5 points to the practical exam, okay? If it's not returned by the final exam day, understand that there's a penalty fee and it will go to your college account. I'm more concerned about people who withdraw from the course because I can't remind you about this stuff. So it's going to be documented that you did not return it. You need to still return it even if you withdraw. Otherwise, you're going to owe the school, I don't know how much, but it is over $100, okay? I also have an exiting survey, okay? Complete this after you do your final exam or around the final exam. It's not the same, what do you call it? The questionnaire that the school gives you, because to tell you the truth, I don't even get those back. But I want to see if I could build my courses better by either putting things in or taking things out, kind of thing. But I want to have an idea of what I should continue, what should I change, just your thoughts about taking this course, okay? The grade won't be affected. I don't look at these until after the final exams are done. I will get a receipt to say that it was submitted, okay? And like I said, this is a part of your grades. So if you don't do this, you're not going to get 5 points. 5 points is not bonus. It is a part of your course grade. Okay, and you'll also see a blue box somewhere towards the end of your syllabus. Yes, we're getting close to that. And it's really how the distribution is happening. So what you're looking at is above the green line is all the lecture material, and those points add up to 650 points. You'll see that everything below the green line adds up to 350 points, making a simple math thing for me and for you, 1,000 points. Just move the decimal place over 1% right there, or one decimal point, and you make it to 100. And now you do that with all here. That's worth, so your lecture exams are worth 40%, 20, and here's 20%, 5%. That's 30%, 4%, 0.5%, 0.5%, right? So you're looking at the lectures worth 65% of your course grade, and your lab is worth 35%. I do want to mention about bonus. There's a lot of bonus that's happening here. Again, all my lecture exams, at least live ones, will always have bonus on there. I don't know, anywhere from 6 to 7 questions that are bonus. The online exams will also have, if you have 2 or more, then, because 1 could always be dropped, that's why I say 2. So 2 or more, then you will also have that bonus quiz that you can do, okay? So that's what's happening over here. So if there's a bonus quiz, and I have that bonus also for the bones, if you bring it back before on the practical exam day. What I'm trying to say is there is enough there that'll be able to raise your GPA 3.5 points if you get all the points that you earn, okay? All right, so that's what that is. Very brief. I know I talked about this Canvas thing. You'll find my syllabus on there, any announcements, the best way to contact me. All my PowerPoints are on there. All my web links to all my recorded videos. Okay. I want to say again, very briefly about the review questions. I highly, highly, highly recommend you do these. There's no answer keys. Like I said, the answers found in my PowerPoints or videos or applying that material. Do them at your own pace and then meet up with 1 or 2 other classmates and just go over the answers, right? Many benefits. Act as a study guide. If you do these every time you finish your, you do a PowerPoint, so to say, and you put, you circle the answers and you put little notes in all the, you use them as your study guide, so to say, because I don't really do study guides. So you could put all your information on there. When it comes down to your final exam, just reprint out all these review questions and just do them again. You now have all the answer sheets because you've been doing them. And that's the best way to study for your final exam, is just to do questions, 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 okay? Again, it's a good representation, those review questions, of what my exam questions will be. And like I said, I reward the students who do these review questions correctly, because 20 to 25% of my lecture exams have these questions on them verbatim, okay? Just want to keep this brief. Just don't cheat. It's not worth it. I could go on and on, which I won't, because this video has been taking me so long. But just don't do it. It's not worth it. I could tell you stories, crazy things what students did, but it was so obvious. But I have to go. I have to deal with the chairperson, the dean of the school, the dean of students. It's just not worth it. If I got to go through all that and you're cheating, I'm going all the way, because it's costed me a lot of time to do that. All right. So just don't cheat. It's just not worth it. Okay. Just do what you're supposed to. You're going into medicine. You need to know this stuff. All right. You've heard that where, you're only cheating yourself. It's the truth. It's the truth. Okay. Classroom etiquette. Try to pre-read the lesson before class that I'll be telling you about. Some of the lecture material will be in the class. I usually choose to do the harder concepts that need some kind of review. The lecture quiz exam, refrain from being late. And if the test is still going, just take your seat quietly and no other time is permitted. But again, if it's a practical exam or a lab quiz, when the door is closed, you can't come in. Cell phones, just keep it off or on vibrate during my lectures in class. But when it comes to exams and quizzes, I have a zero tolerance policy. It has to be off, not even on vibrate. Okay. I don't want you to think that I'm like really cruel with that, but if you have an emergency call, your child's sick, then put it on vibrate and put it on my desk. If it goes off, I'll hand it to you. Do what you need to do, and then we'll deal with it that way. But I don't want to have it where phones are going off and distracting people. Okay. So a 0 will result if anything is seen or heard. A smartphone, smartwatch. Yep. Students are getting wise with that one. Camera, calculator, earpods, or any digital thing will be, it can be used as cheating. So just beware of that. Okay. So, and it's strong possible failure for the course. We're going to have class in our lab room. And all the lab rooms, we're not allowed to eat or drink in there. There will be a table that's set aside by the entrance. Put your drinks over there. And during my class time, if you want to get up, get a drink, just bring it to the hallway, drink there, and then come back to your seat. That's fine. The issue is these are laboratories. Some of them can be used for microbiology or chemistry, and you don't know what is floating. If they didn't wash the table well and you put an apple on there, a granola bar, there could be E. coli on there. Nasty stuff. Or, there's a few drops of what you think is water. Well, water and hydrochloric acid look totally the same. So, you put again, an apple on there, you're going to burn your tongue and stuff. So it's just not, we just can't eat or drink in the laboratories. I'm sorry about that. Okay. Class cancellations. This is very rare if I cancel it, but if there's a weather like snow day or power outage or something, the best way is to do this thing called a rave. And I don't know if you're familiar with that. I think it's you sign up for this. I think it's on my portal on the website, but just do a search. You'll see it. Basically, you sign up for this, whether you want to put your phone in there or an email address. And if there's a snow day, then the rave sends an umbrella, an email or text to everybody who signed up for it, and everyone gets it at the same time. So that's a nice alert thing. Like I said, if I cancel, I've never really canceled, to tell you the truth, in the almost 20 years I've been teaching. I guess what I would do, I know it's crazy, but I will have someone post something on the door. And I will definitely email you if class is canceled like that. Okay. So that's what would happen, something like that. And I'll give you some idea of how to go forward. All right. Now, the last thing I just want to say is there is other things in the syllabus that I'm not going to go over. Things like, no, we did that. Participation, like certain policies, participation policies, academic advising, students with disabilities, basic needs, Office of Health and Wellness, tutoring services. Hey, that's free over here. Just go to the ARC, just sign up. It explains how to go about doing that, and you get tutoring. You could even do groups over there too. You just got to sign up with that. I tutor over there, so you could have me or someone else. It doesn't matter. But yeah, and they're also open on Saturdays too. So you call the ARC, you set it all up. So we have tutoring services, free. Course withdrawals are on there. Grade appeals, incomplete grades are on there. They're pretty straightforward. Look at the syllabus. It's the last few pages of the syllabus. Just take a look at it. And the very last page does have a note about important dates. Note on there for your semester, when's the last day to withdraw? No, I'm sorry, the last day to drop. It's called an add drop date. It's usually towards the beginning of the semester. It might be, depends on if it's accelerated semester or not, but it's usually going to be the first week or maybe, yeah, the first week. It'll probably be within 7 days. If it's accelerated, it might be the first day or two. Depends on how that is. But what that is, if you drop the course, it does not show at all on your transcript, and you get some refund for it. I think it's 100% refund. But yeah, so you get some refund, but it doesn't show on your transcript. If you go further after that, then there is a withdrawal date, and that's usually towards the end of the semester, and that will appear, if you withdraw, that will appear on your transcript, but it won't have a grade and it won't affect your GPA, but it will say withdraw or W. All right. So as those dates get closer, I'll remind you about that, but that's basically what those dates are. Okay. And remember, we've heard this saying, live like you're going to die tomorrow, right? But here's where my teaching philosophy is. I want you to learn like you're going to live forever. Okay. So I want to, here, I'm going to stop the sharing. Okay. I'm back with my two buddies over here. So that's what I want. Even you're going to use this material. Let's put it this way. When students ask me what's going to be on the test, what kind of questions are going to be on there? Don't worry about what's going to be on there. As you go through chapter to chapter, reading concept to concept, you're going into a medical field. Think how you're going to use this stuff in your future. If you don't, ask me or ask someone who's in the medical realm. Okay? Once you find out how that material is going to, how you're going to use that material in your future, I promise you, the test will fall into place. You need to pick out what's significant. And the way you do the review questions is going to hone in on your study skills and test-taking strategies. You're only going to get better. You're going to crawl inside. I know it sounds crazy, but you're going to crawl inside my head. Not just me. If you're taking history, if you're taking, economics or something, you want to think. You want to crawl inside your professor's head and think of what questions he or she's going to ask. Oh, Gamarro's going to ask that question. I can see it. Right? That's what you want to do. So once you start doing that, because the professors know what is significant, once you start doing that, and you do, and I'm using the review questions to guide you, you're going to get better. You could only get better. Okay. So I just want to end this and just say, from the three of us, I'm looking forward to a great semester with you. You're definitely going to learn. You're going to feel like you're in college. And just wish you well with all your other classes here at Massasoit. Okay? So until we speak again, bye-bye for now.